Julio Jones, I'm out of there, okay? Was said, and I don't even know if I'm allowed to mention it because allegedly, potentially illegally recorded.
Highly illegal.
Highly illegal. Allegedly, the internet has told me.
I mean, the laws are what they are. Like, I'm curious to see what happens. I have no idea what's going to happen, but, like, you know, that raised a lot of eyebrows. Just I'm going to broadcast this guy's private phone call on air. Like, that is wild. Like, and reportedly the Falcons are pissed. And I do not blame them.
Yeah, I would assume the Falcons are pissed. Julio's team probably not exactly thrilled because this doesn't make him look great to other teams potentially. It's like that isn't exactly what Julio has ever been about, by the way. I don't think that is. I don't think Julio is a big public, like statement. I don't think he is, right? That's not his thing. Now, he did have that Instagram situation where he took down the Falcons photos when they were in negotiation, but Julio, I think, is a pretty reserved.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Pretty behind. So
ultra private, yeah.
Julio had to be in on it. Like, I know that people are reporting that he wasn't, and listen, and if it comes out, Julio says and Shannon says he didn't know or whatever, he had to have known. Don't you think he had to have known? That is a crazy situation to be in for Julio, I'd assume, if he didn't know,
Yeah, I mean, like, career-changing situation, right? Like, saying, I'm out of there for when you've been the face of the franchise, like, I guess theoretically somehow he could go back, but it's hard to put the thing back into the other thing, That's... So, I mean, you can do it, but, like, I don't know. I don't know how it happens, and I don't know how deep we want to go into, like, the inner workings of FS1, but I'm not sure they aired that again. Like, usually on all the other shows, if they have some groundbreaking interview, they go crazy with the audio. Like, did they air that again?
Yeah, because
I'm not.
You heard the host,
Jenny Taft.
While he's on the call, she says, because they have her separated, they've done that through quarantine or whatever. She says, you should tell him he's on live TV or something.
Yeah.
Like, she...
Oh, I didn't even... Oh, jeez.
But I didn't know if that was... To be honest, I thought it was all...
A bit.
I thought it was all a part of it. You know what I mean? Like, because every once in a while, we'll get somebody to call into this show or other people have had it. And I literally, now... To my credit, I don't do a lot of things good and a lot of things right in this whole hosting world. But that is something I feel like is very... I don't know what this person's going to tell me. And listen, what you're about to tell me, I don't think the world deserves to hear, by the way. I respect what we have going on. If Shannon did that to Julio, I think Shannon also has to feel pretty fucking terrible about it because it's like a code, It's like when somebody's mic'd up on the sideline. Everybody goes like, hey, like, I am mic'd up right now. Do not. It's just you never know. I refuse to believe he didn't know. I don't know.
I don't know the answer to that, but you mentioned the sort of code thing. Like, we have, at our network, a lot of very, very good former players. Michael Irvin was one. We've had, you all know, Dion and Marshall, all those guys. And they constantly are talking to current players, giving advice, helping, like, being a sounding board. Dion was constantly a sounding board for young corners.
For everybody. Dion's a sounding board for everybody, by the way. What Dion has done to the game is awesome, by the way. Yeah.
He's right. It's awesome. And constantly news would happen, and then I would be talking about it, and Dion would go, oh, yeah, I knew about that. And I'd be like, hello? And he's like, oh, yeah. Like, when a guy tells me, I can't. And it took me a little bit of time to understand, but he's right. Like, when they're talking to him, they're not talking to him as a TV analyst. They're talking to him as one of the best corners ever to play the game. Like, I want everything to be public, but there's some stuff that needs to be private, and, like, I have a lot of questions about that.
Yeah, you told AJ Hawk that Aaron was a source. Yeah. It's like one of his friends. Like, you view it much differently than the players see. And I mean, that is two different things. But
my life is very strange.
And guys have gotten caught up in saying things on a very regular basis. This is not a normal or an abnormal thing where guys will accidentally leak some information that they had heard that wasn't supposed to be public. It's natural. That's why I try to literally block myself from all conversations, because I'm like, hey, listen, if it's in here, like, there's a chance it's going to come out. So it is something I legitimately have to, like Adam Vinatieri, for instance. He went on Morton Anderson's podcast, Legend of a Kicker, and talked about how he basically, this just broke today, he basically was thinking about, like, coming back and, like, trying, and his body wasn't reacting how he thought it was. Because Adam Vinatieri, the reason why he is the way he is because he's like uber competitive, just like everybody else. But like, I thought there was no way he goes out the way he went out. Like, I didn't think, knowing Vinatieri, everybody was like, he's too old, he's hurt. I'm like, that ain't how Vinatieri operates. Like, I don't think that's how this whole thing's going to go. And he's kind of alluded to that he was thinking about coming back. He finally said it publicly, so now I can talk about it, but I would never even ask him. I'd see him and I'm like, I don't even want to hear it because I don't want to have to say it because that's big news. There's a little bit of there's a friend code there, like a teammate code. Hopefully that wasn't the case. We'll see what happens with Shannon.